All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Fear Not Punk Show. That's the Fear KNOT Punk Radio program. Tonight we have a special guest. We're going to be interviewing PETER118. Actually, we're going to be interviewing Peter Field from the UK. So without further ado, let's see if we could get him on the phone and see if he'll answer. He's probably about 7 hours ahead of us, so let's go ahead and see if we could get Peter on the line here. As we get started, we're going to make a few adjustments here. Let's see if we could get Peter on the line here. I'll adjust the volume as we...
Hello?
Hello, Peter?
Yeah, hi, Jeff. You all right?
Hey, is this PETER118, Peter Field?
It is.
Well, hey, I really appreciate you answering, Peter. I just want to let you know that you're going to be interviewing tonight, actually right now, on the Fear Not Punk Show.
Oh, brilliant!
How's that?
That's cool.
I hope I didn't wake you up too early, Peter. How are you doing this morning?
All right, just woken up and having a cup of coffee.
Well, I hope you had a couple sips because we're gonna kind of try to punk it out here on this program and have a good time. What do you say about that?
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, all right, Peter. We were just listening to your song on the radio before we dialed, and we're really enjoying that over here in America. So we thank you for being on the program. And how you doing this morning?
Yeah, good.
Or did I already say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So well, let's kind of dive right into it, Peter. Tell us a little bit about your band. Your band is PETER118. Is that correct?
Yeah. The band comprises of myself on guitar and vocals, and my wife Janine on bass and vocals, and we've got a young drummer Sam who's I think he's 17.
Sam Critchley?
Yeah, Sam Critchley. Yeah, he's been on the drums now for about 2 or 3 years.
Nice.
And he's travelled to Europe with us, America. So.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, you got some pretty good videos out there. And now Janine, she was once Janine Reed. Did she change her name to Field?
Yeah, well, we got married back in August. So,
awesome.
You know, when my original bass player was a guy called Drew, who's from South Africa. However, he kind of left about 2 years ago, and I recruited my wife.
Yeah.
On bass,
there you go.
Doing a good, yeah, and you know, she's been playing bass for about 18 months, and she has. You know, she enjoys it and she contributes to the band. So it's kind of a ministry that we do together.
Nice. Now, you were once in another band, too. Was it 2 bands at the same time? What was the name of that other band?
The other band was AOS, Ambassadors of Shalom.
That's right.
And what happened, the drummer moved away and we did the album, and we just felt that, you know, it was just a season. So as that band kind of split up, and I started to work more on PETER118, and that's how the band, PETER118 developed, really.
Now, was PETER118 like a solo project at the beginning, or did you just all of a sudden switch it to PETER118?
Yeah, what happened, it was just me doing a couple of acoustic gigs, punk covers, but in 2014, the radio track got playlisted on Japan's FM radio, and it turned out it was Japan's largest FM radio. So it went out to 60 million people.
Nice, yeah.
And then from there it grew, because then the DJ Mike Rogers in Japan sent it to Rodney Bingenheimer over at K-Rock. So then the song started to get listed on K-Rock. So kind of things grew from there. And we weren't expecting it, because we only spent £300 on the track.
Yeah. Now, hey, let me cut in here. What is 300 pounds in dollars, American money?
It's about 500, between $500-600.
Okay, so you spent about $600 on a song to record it.
Yeah, a couple of songs, yeah, and it got playlisted on some big stations out in Japan and America.
And what song was that?
That was Radio.
Oh yeah, would you consider that one of your main hits?
Yeah. We've re-released it this year in order to try and get on the UK radio, because a lot of the market that we're getting is over in abroad. So we can play Japan, America, Europe, Germany. But we wanted to try and reach the UK audience, so we've re-released it and remarketed the song primarily for the British audience.
Right.
So that was released the 24th of Feb. So
now, when you re-released it, did you remix it at all, or did you keep the original mix?
we kept the original mix, but we did a new video to feature Janine, because when we originally recorded it, Janine wasn't in the band. So we've kind of twigged it a bit, trying reach that UK market.
Well, for the audience, could you tell us first of all? Let's get down to the basics. Where are you from? What city are you from?
Okay, I'm from Stoke-on-Trent, England. It's in the smack bang in the centre of England, and it's known for its pottery. So back in the Industrial Revolution, Stoke-on-Trent produced a lot of potteries and ceramics.
Did you say pottery?
Yeah, pottery, ceramics. Stoke-on-Trent was the central in the world for ceramics. So a lot of the Queen and the royal family used pottery from Stoke-on-Trent, and Prince Charles often visits Stoke-on-Trent, to visit the factories.
Well, there you have it, guys. If you ever go to England or the UK, don't forget to visit Peter Field and get some pottery in Stoke-on-Trent. Now, Stoke-on-Trent, isn't that that's northwest of London? Is that correct?
Yeah. We're on the train. We're about an hour and a half from London. We're about 40 minutes drive from between Manchester and Birmingham. So we are actually pretty much smack bang in the middle.
Yeah, it looks bigger on the map. That's kind of neat how everything's close together. How you guys are right, pretty close to Manchester and Liverpool, right, where the Beatles got started?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not far from Liverpool, so we're about an hour from Liverpool.
Do you ever play in Liverpool?
Yeah, we've done some acoustic shows in Liverpool, and we visited a couple of radio stations out there. So it's really good, really cultural. So in the cabin where the Beatles first played, it's still running. So bands can actually play.
So you guys actually play in that cavern that the Beatles played in?
We didn't know. We played in a bar just down the road because
nice. Yeah.
It's that jam packed.
What is it? What about their original drummer? Doesn't he have a club out there in England? There was an original drummer before Ringo. I forgot his name, but he has his own club somewhere, I think, out there in maybe in Liverpool or something. I don't know. Have you seen that?
Yeah, possibly. There's a street in Liverpool which is just full of Beatles memorabilia, with statues, signatures, where they've played, and you know what I mean. It's quite an interesting place.
Nice. And so we talked about where you played. Isn't there an Extreme Tour coming up? UK version of the Extreme Tour. Where is that going to be? And boy, we hope to be up there with you. But in my band CPR. But tell me a little bit about that. When that's going to happen, and how many stops are going to be in England?
Okay, well, the Extreme Tour will be in England in October. We're just kind of sorting out dates, but we're thinking maybe mid-October to fit in with half term, which means when the kids are off school. And it's going all over the UK, so it's going as far as Scotland, Manchester, Stoke-on-Trent, down to South Wales.
Now, will you be going to Scotland too yourself, in your band?
Possibly. We need to sort out what dates we're doing, but I think we'll be doing Stoke-on-Trent, Nottingham, South Wales. We need to find out if we're going to do the Scotland dates. But they usually go up to Edinburgh.
Yeah, that's. I hear the Extreme Tour has like 15 countries, and in America alone, over 200 stops. Is that about right, roughly?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's kind of been developing in the UK for the past few years.
Nice.
And last year and the year before, it was the Extreme Tour was kind of playing in churches, but the idea of the Extreme Tour is to move out of the churches and play in the youth events, the parks, the indoor skate parks. So that's where kind of Extreme Tour is heading next year. So my friend Ed Jervis, who does our management for PETER118, he's organising the tour for the.
Now, I bet you get a lot of rain there. Is that right? Do you get a lot of rain in England there?
Yeah.
How do you guys play? How do you play in outdoor events? Is it always covered, or how's that work?
It is always covered, yes, and the weather's on and off, so your stages are always, you know what I mean.
Right. And do you got skateboarders out there?
Yeah.
Do they skateboard in England?
Yeah. We've there's a festival called the Creation Fest, which takes place in Cornwall every year, and that's like an alternative festival for skaters, surfers, and you get the alternative bands playing. So that's a good one to play.
Now, the Creation Fest, when does that normally happen out there?
It's mid-August, so it's a week down in Wadebridge. So it's pretty cool.
It sounds really exciting. Now, let me ask you this: how is the punk scene, and how is the Christian punk scene out there? There's a double-loaded, double-barrel question. How's the punk scene going on right now in England? And the second question would be, how is the Christian punk scene going? Okay,
well, the punk scene is the secular punk scene in England is alive and kicking. There's, a lot of the old school bands are still touring. There's people are going to the shows. However, there's been a problem with Stoke-on-Trent punk scene. There's been a problem with Nazis and fascists. About 3 years ago, we got a lot of Nazis turning up at the shows, saluting, causing trouble, and it's kind of actually, crippled the scene really. So a lot of the bars and venues were getting through from the anti-fascists. Don't put the gigs on because of the Nazis may turn up, and it's come to the extreme where threats have been made to firebomb pubs, close them down, and it's pretty much destroyed the scene. So instead of having gigs every week, maybe you're going to have gigs every month. And we did a show with a guy called Edward Tudor Pole. He was in a band called Temple Tudor, and he filled in on Pistol after Johnny Rotten left. We did a gig with him, but there was concerns that there was going to be Nazis at the show, so we had kind of we were having threats made via Facebook. Don't play that show, and there'll be Nazis there. What we issued a statement to say that Christianity rises above politics, and we use Christianity as our defense. And the first thing we said when we played that show is, we're a Christian band. Christianity is above any kind of political agenda, and it worked in our favor, and it went down well, and the show went ahead without any trouble.
And I bet it was a good way to minister too, saying, "Hey, we're servants of the Lord. We're not into this politics left and right, or whatever you want to call left and right, or how extreme it goes. We rise above that. We serve the Almighty God and His Son."
Yeah.
That is wow. I'm getting chills just thinking about that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the show went ahead, and it was like a week before the gig. The venue was even having threats, and they were going to pull the show, but God allowed it to happen. So that was that's great.
Yeah, you stepped out in faith, and you let them know that, hey, we're Christians, and this is what we stand for and who we stand for. That alone is a great lesson, because here in the States, we got I don't know if you have Fox News, but if some of the older generation turns on Fox News, you could get kind of riled up. They get stabbing at each other between Fox and CNN, and it's best not to get caught up in all that, and just serve the Lord and say, hey, we vote Jesus. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
Yeah, the second part of the question, you wanted to know about the Christian punk scene.
Yes.
Is that right? Well, it's really small. It's comprises of about a couple of bands, and it's been developing over the past few years. With since we were doing Ambassadors of Shalom, that it's growing, but it's very slow. So the bands really, as myself, PETER118, we've got a band from Stroud called the Trinity Boys. They recently started up about 2 years ago. We did a Christian punk rock night back in October in Stroud, which was really good.
Now, what city was that? You said Stroud?
It's in Gloucestershire, and that was at the Trinity Boys Church. So they put on a punk night in the church. So it was Trinity Boys, PETER118, and Neil, which was the other guitarist from Ambassadors of Shalom. Neil does a solo project.
Nice.
So that went down really well. And then there's also a guy called Eagle Spitz. He was in a band called the Porgeezers, which were on Thumper Punk Records.
The Porgeezers, yeah, I heard of them.
Yeah, well, he runs a charity in Nottingham called Punk for the Homeless, which puts on secular punk shows, but gives all the money to the homeless charity. Nice. So, Eagle's been doing a good job there. So there's a group of us, and we try and work together, and to reach people and spread the name of Jesus.
So there's less than a half dozen bands that you could kind of count on your hand doing it in the UK right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, in total, I think there's about 12, between 8 and 12 Christian hard rock bands in the UK alone. It's a small scene, but we hope to grow and develop, and any support from America is appreciated.
Nice.
Extreme tour and any bands that come over, because we are in a minority here.
Yeah, and speaking about a minority, how is the acceptance? Not that you're trying to be accepted, but how is the acceptance among the regular punk bands? Do they take you for real, or how is it kind of done there? I've found that the secular punk scene accepts us. Nice.
We did a show last week, and with secular punk band, and they were in. There was a couple of punks in the audience. And we got a song called Jesus Washes Away Our Sins, and they're absolutely fine. And there was no kind of controversial comments or anything like that. But what did happen? A couple of members in the audience started to mimic Jesus and take the mickey out of the band and the lyrics, and we felt it was a demon on this particular person because of voice. And she was really anti-God. So the negativity came actually from another member of the audience rather than the punk band that we played with, or the punk audience. So they kind of accept.
Right. So there's a little bit of mockery going on. What about the promoters trying to get shows? Do you guys book your own shows, or do you guys got a list of promoters that do local shows, or how's that work out there?
We have secular promoters, Christian promoters, and we do book our own shows. There's been no issues really. Last year we played a secular punk festival for cancer. It was a cancer charity, and we just got booked. So there was sometimes they are open to Christian punk bands, which is a real blessing with punks. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so let me ask you this: where's the heart of the band? Where do you see you guys going in the future? Where's your heart for the band?
Well, I think with PETER118, it's all happened so quick over the past 2 or 3 years, because we weren't expecting to get on Japan radio, and then Rodney Bingenheimer, and then we went out to America, and then we're going to Sweden. It's kind of it's one thing after another. Yeah. So I don't know what to expect next, but we do plan to record a 12-track album because we've released 2 EPs, but what's missing is a full 12-track album, and that's what's next.
A full length, huh? yeah. Then hopefully you get that full length done, and you could put it on vinyl as well. Is vinyl popular out there?
It is. Vinyl's outselling digital downloads in the UK.
Nice. Wow. That's great.
So there has been a rise in vinyl music over the past few years.
Nice. So you got a couple EPs out there, and you're working on a vinyl.
Yeah.
A full length album. That's awesome. That's really good. Well, we'll be rooting for you and praying for you. Now, your label is Thumper Punk Records. Is that correct?
Yeah, we kind of work with two labels. So we work with Thumper Punk in America, and then Ed Jervis has got his own label called In Presence Records, and there's a couple of Christian alternative bands on that label.
Now, could you say that label again? What was that?
In Presence Records.
In Presence Records. And that's out of the UK.
Yes. That's probably the only Christian alternative record label in the UK.
Nice. And how many videos have you put out?
I think we put out about 3. We did Break 'Em Out. We've done Radio. We've done Need You More. We did United We Stand video as well. So the idea is to keep doing videos when we're writing a good song or what we feel is it should be a single, and then as kind of he produces the video and edits it, and it's
and who helps you with your videos? How do you get those done?
Well, it's done from Ed Jervis, so he does the videos as well.
Nice, very nice. Well, all right. Yeah. It's been really fun having you on our program, the Fear Not Radio Punk Show, and I just wanted to ask you, where could us Americans and those in the UK find your music?
Yeah, well, find us on Facebook, PETER118. Just type it in, or we've got a website, PETER118.com. We're also on SoundCloud and all social media, so just Google PETER118 and you'll find us. We're on iTunes, Spotify.
Nice. Any final words you would like to say to our audience out here in California in the United States? Yeah,
well, I love California, so I hope to be back, and I hope to take the band out there. And for anyone listening that that feels called to do punk music, pray to God about it, and let God be in control, because with PETER118, God is in control. I kind of just left it to God, and He takes the band where He wants it to go.
Nice. Yeah, so that's real encouraging. There's a lot of Christians out there that are starting bands and spinning bands, and some have kind of has their bands fizzle apart, and that's good words of encouragement. Let God take control. A question came up. I have to ask you, is PETER118 from 1st or 2nd Peter scripture, or tell me about the 118 part about Peter?
Psalm 118, we pray to God and not to man.
Psalm 118, we pray to God and not to man. Yeah, someone told me last night, we had a show, our band CPR here in Huntington Beach, and a good dear friend of mine said, you play, sometimes you need encouragement, even being a musician in a band. She said, you would play to an audience of one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a really encouragement word on that. All right, Peter Field, it's so nice to have you on our program. I can't wait to see you again in person. And it was nice seeing you the first time. You're a very cordial person, and I really enjoy your music. It's would you consider it pop punk, or what would you?
We are fitting into pop punk category, but if you listen to our stuff, it's still old school based.
Yes.
So I think we're a mixture between Rancid, the Sex Pistols, and Blink-182.
Yeah, there you go. It's not quite all the way pop punk. Sometimes pop punk can be a little irritating, but your music is awesome. It is fun to listen to. It's encouraging. It's catchy. And you know what? I love it. And I can't wait to hear some more of it in your new album. So,
thank you.
Peter Field, thank you so much, and God bless you, and thank you for being on the Fear Not radio program, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, take care.
All right. Bye-bye.